everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's been a couple weeks. Happy to be back. Getting back on our regular schedule that we just started. So, if you saw the first stream that we did, the first study hall stream that we did, the first hour or so, hello Tracy, welcome. The first hour or so are office hours. Thank you. It was just my birthday. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm 26 now. 26! 26! If you've seen Broad City, you understand the reference. But yeah, I'm 26 now. Oh yeah, it feels good. I like an even number, not gonna lie. Hello, welcome in, Witchlight. Hello, thank you, thank you. I love your name, Andromeda. That's great. Yeah, so the first hour is open, just chatting, asking questions. We're calling it office hours. Yeah, so I'm just here chatting with you guys. You can ask questions. We can chat about what's going on in our lives. Pretty much anything. Just chatting and hanging out. And then we didn't get to this last stream because of technical issues. But this stream we're going to finally get to. The last half of the stream is going to just be open study time. So I'm not going to be talking anymore. I'm just going to be working on stuff on my computer. Just working away. And you guys can work alongside me if you have something you're studying, or a book you're reading, or a craft you're working on, or if you're in school and you've got work to do, or if you work from home. You can turn the stream on and just work from home while I work from home also. So that's what these are. And yeah, so this is only our second one. I just got back from a long trip. I was in Costa Rica, and then I was in Florida, and got back. Oh God, what day of the week is it now? I have no concept of time. It's Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. I got back at the end of last week. And it's been weird here in LA. It's cold. It's cold and it's rainy and it's wet. It's really weird, guys. I don't know where I am. When I got off the plane, I was like, the whole climate had changed. Yeah, the earth is freaking out, rightfully so. But yeah, that's where I've been. In Costa Rica, I was at an ecstatic dance retreat, which was so fun, so amazing. The most fun 4 days of my life. Like, no doubt. And I'm going to be posting, I vlogged that retreat, so I'm going to be posting that. That's actually what I'm going to be working on my computer once we're done with office hours here. I'm going to be working on editing that vlog. So, yes. It was very cool, very fun. Cold, rainy, and wet. I am not used to it, Tracy. I feel scared. You know, I'm from a cold and rainy place. I was, born and raised in upstate New York, a small town in upstate New York. So I used to be used to the weather, and now it confuses me. It confuses me, because in Los Angeles it's supposed to be warm. At least that's what they say it's supposed to be, but sadly it is not. It is not. But thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. Everybody sent a lot of really lovely messages for my birthday on YouTube and on Instagram. So thank you very much. I had a good birthday. I used to hate my birthday. Mainly because of trauma. Which I feel like a lot of people can relate to. But yeah, so for this first about hour or so, feel free to send questions. Questions about anything. Questions about your spiritual practice. Questions about me. You can ask questions about the retreat I was just on, anything you want. And one thing I do want to bring up is I'm going to be hosting an ecstatic dance event here in Los Angeles. This is going to be an in-person event. And ecstatic dance is the practice of just freely moving to music without the need to follow any specific steps or do any kind of choreography or anything. It's just a free expression of yourself, usually an hour-long class where you just dance, dance, dance. And it's so fun. It is so fun. So that's going to be happening here in Los Angeles. You can check out my website, priestessdandelion.com, for information on that, for tickets. Tickets are also being sold at the door. So if you don't want to get your ticket in advance, you can still come at the last minute and just get your ticket right at the door. But they are $5 more at the door. So it's cheaper to buy the early bird ticket. And I wanted to ask, I've been thinking about possibly opening the event up to virtual tickets also, so anybody could join. Of course, it's always better to be in person with an ecstatic dance event, but I thought it could be fun to open it up to people so they could buy a virtual ticket, and then you can join the live stream and just dance from your home, still hear the music that we're broadcasting, still hear the opening that I'm going to give for the dance, and still participate, even if you don't live in the area. So if anybody's interested in that, put that in the chat, or if you're watching this later, comment down below that you're interested in that sort of thing, so I know that there are people who would want to join virtually. But yeah, that's happening. It's going to be on March 13th, which is a Monday. It's in the evening LA time. So time change-wise might be different for some people, and at a less convenient time. It's at 6 o'clock here in LA, so 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But yeah, that's my little blurb about ecstatic dance. We're going to be having regular events here in Los Angeles. Yeah, and if I did open it up to if I ended up live streaming the event and making it hybrid so you could be in person or long distance, you could also watch the recording after. So if you're somewhere where the timing isn't good for you, then you could still, maybe the next day or the next night or whenever you have time, hit that link and watch it after the fact. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing that. It would be fun to just involve more people, get more out of the event, have more people enjoying it. But the theme for the dance is going to be abundance and prosperity. So it's kind of, it's the first in-person event that I'm teaching for ecstatic dance. So I wanted to start it off as a bang, like a fresh beginning, abundance and prosperity. So that's the topic we're going to be focusing on. That's what the music is going to be geared toward. It's going to start off kind of shaking off the old, letting go of old patterns. And then as we go through, it'll kind of go up into manifesting our desires and calling in what we want, stepping into our power. So yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited. So if you can come in person, amazing. Get a ticket. And if you can't come in person, then let me know you want to be able to join the live stream, and I will open it up to long distance. I'm thinking I'm already going to do that, just because even if there's only a couple people who want to join the long distance, that's still good. Yeah, and a good theme for around Astara and Beltane. We're moving out of the cold and into the warm. We're getting more and more sun, getting more of that masculine, powerful energy. So yeah, we're kind of stepping into spring with this dance. Yeah, and the vlog's gonna be fun. I didn't get to film a lot of the actual dancing just because ecstatic dance as a practice is a technology-free practice generally. The people running the retreat took some videos to promote the event and for like marketing and things. So eventually I will have those. Those will probably end up being on Instagram more so than YouTube. Maybe I'll post them in YouTube Shorts. But I don't have those yet. But I still took a lot of videos of like the space that we were dancing in and the whole retreat grounds that I was staying at. There's this beautiful river right on the grounds that I hung out a lot at. It was amazing. Yeah, so not a lot of videos of the actual dances, but a lot of videos of all the other stuff. But yeah, it'll be a fun vlog, I think. I enjoyed making it. It was also pretty interesting to vlog because, like I said, it was in Costa Rica, and it was my first time going to Costa Rica. But also, the place we were staying at, anybody who's been to Costa Rica knows that a lot of the especially in a spiritual sense. Like if you did a retreat in Costa Rica, or my sister did her yoga teacher training in Costa Rica, and she had a similar situation to what I'm about to say. It's interesting because a lot of the places in Costa Rica are like indoor outdoor. So like there's no inside. Like there's no air conditioned inside. And Costa Rica's hot. Like even in February, really hot. Like at night it never got below 80 degrees. So yeah, when I first got there, I had a little bit of an autistic panic. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Quite a bit of an autistic panic. Where I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I started to kind of panic because also I didn't know that was the situation going into it. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have signed up if I had known that there was no air conditioning and no enclosed inside. Because I had my own bedroom. Like I was sleeping in a bed, I wasn't camping or anything. But the walls were mostly screens, and like the bathroom, the shower was just like a screen. Obviously not the full body, but just like head up was just screens. So that was really difficult at first, and I vlogged that whole experience of dealing with that and trying to cope with it and readjust my expectations and figure out how to get comfortable and, you know, get to that place of like, okay, I can do this. I can breathe. I'm all right. This isn't what I thought it would be, but I can do this. I can still have a good time. And there were a lot of little things like that that poked at my neurodivergence throughout the 4 days that I was there. And I talked about all of that too. Because I feel like in the spiritual community, and I feel like we've talked about this quite a bit on my channel just because I'm neurodivergent. And I feel like a lot of you are neurodivergent who like my channel because we gravitate toward each other. We have that in common. But I feel like in the spiritual community with like retreats and things, often neurodivergent people aren't thought about in the planning process. There's no like support for us to make us feel like we can join in these events. I feel like a lot of the time, like I said, it's like outdoor events where there's only camping, which isn't accessible to everybody because of sensory issues. And like a lot of the time, like I said, you know, there's no air conditioning, or there's only one type of food being served and things like that. And these things are never said up front. Like nobody said, by the way, this retreat space that you're signing up for, because I bought a space for a private room and a private bathroom because I know my needs and I know I need my own space to be able to decompress and be alone at the end of the day. I can't just socialize. And I feel like, you know, when I was booking this, at no point did the people running the retreat say, just so you know, yes, it's a private room and a private bathroom, but it's not enclosed. There's no AC. It's basically outside. So nobody said that. And like I said, I probably wouldn't have signed up if I had known that. And this is where it gets complicated, because I think ethically and morally, as a person running a retreat, you have a responsibility to tell someone, because this person also knew that I'm autistic. They have a responsibility to say, hey, just so you know, this is the situation. This is the living situation. But then at the same time, I'm really grateful that I went because I had an amazing time. A lot of it was really difficult for me. I had a lot of really triggering moments and uncomfortable moments sensorily. But like I said, best 4 days of my life. So much fun. So much connecting to other people and building community and just literally dancing all day for 4 days. So much fun at this retreat. But it is complicated because I think as a neurodivergent person who knows what it's like to be neurodivergent, I think you have a right as a spiritual leader who's running an event to tell people this is the situation. But that almost never happens. Because even with things like big events like Spirit Weavers and things, I don't know that I could ever really go to that. If you don't know, Spirit Weavers is a big event here in the States. It happens in Oregon every summer. And I've kind of always thought about going, but I always, I had tickets one year, but then I couldn't go because of family health situation. So I sold my ticket. But I've thought, like, you know, this year I was like, oh, should I get a ticket? And I ended up not. it just feels really daunting to me to be in this isolated area with very little phone service, and you have to camp. Like, the only option is some version of camping. It's just a lot of uncertainty and a lot of sensory upset. So, yeah, that's my little spiel about spiritual events and retreats and things. Yeah, guys, and remember, for this next little while, if you have any questions you want to send in, spiritual questions, questions about the retreat I was just on, questions about me, questions about the channel, questions about anything, really, you can send them in. And remember, our little kitty cat, oh my god, what were we going to name our little kitty cat? Urgent. Remember, in our first spiritual study hall, we talked about naming our little kitty cat here in the bottom right-hand corner. And somebody, one of my beautiful channel members, commented an excellent idea, and I think we should do it. And I'm looking up what it was. Let's see. Oh, Hexe. H-E-X-E, but it's German, so it would be Hexe. Yes, and Libby commented this, so shout out to Libby for the excellent idea. Libby and I are both learning German, so we bonded over this in the comments on the last live stream. But yeah, so that was her idea, was to name our little cat Hexe. So if anybody's interested in that, what's our verdict on that name? How do we feel about it? I feel like it could be good. Because I don't want to name them anything too cliche, you know? But I also, I don't know, I get overwhelmed choosing names for things. But yeah, so let me know how you guys feel about Hexe, about Libby's idea, Hexe, for our little cat friend here. And remember, I think Hexe just did something, but that's, she does little movements whenever you hit subscribe, whenever you hit the join button. If you send a super chat, Hexe does a little something. So if you want to see Hexe do something, hit one of those buttons. But remember, you can send questions at any point here. Yeah, it's going to be hard to root through all my footage for the vlog once I start working. We like Hexe? Okay, cool. We've got a couple yeses on Hexe. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, y'all. Love that. Okay, it's official. We've got 3 yeses from Rebecca, Tracy, and Andromeda. So we're going with it. Libby, you win. You win, Libby. Congratulations. So our little cat's name is Hexe. It's official. Oh, something else I was going to talk to you guys about. So, I don't know if we have any gamers here currently in the chat or watching this later, after the fact, but I just started playing Hogwarts Legacy on my PlayStation, and I literally stopped playing because I was like, I should be playing this on YouTube with everybody. So, I was thinking that we could start also streaming some games. So I was thinking we could start with Hogwarts Legacy. So everybody let me know what you think about that too. Rebecca, question, any advice for people starting to learn about Wicca? Yes! So much advice for people starting to learn about Wicca. Endless advice. Let's see, where to begin? It's overwhelming. My first piece of advice would be to kind of ground yourself in your decision to start learning about Wicca. And kind of calm yourself, because it's really exciting. Like usually when people are starting to learn about Wicca, it's just so exciting. There's so much knowledge, there's so much content, there's so much stuff flying at you, there's so many topics within Wicca, there's so many areas of study. You can really go in so many directions when you decide to become Wiccan. Or even just to learn about Wicca and you're not sure if it's for you yet. But I would say my first piece of advice is to pick up Wicca and Living Wicca by Scott Cunningham. I think those are the best books for an introduction to Wicca and all things relating to Wicca. So that's 2 books, Wicca and Living Wicca, both by Scott Cunningham. And a lot of the time you can find them sold as one book. So they are two separate books, but they do sell them as one big book. But yeah, that would be my biggest piece of advice is check out those books. Read those books. Those books are the closest thing to a Bible that I think Wiccans really have. So those are always the books that I recommend people get first. Read those. Those give you a really good grasp on what Wicca is and how Wicca works and what it means to be Wiccan. But yeah, that would be my biggest piece of advice. And then my other piece of advice would be don't start buying things right away. It's kind of like all the information. There's also so many tools of the craft. There's so many little things that you can purchase. Like take a moment and really think about it and calm yourself down before you start buying things and really start thinking like, do I need this? Can I wait on this? Is there something else I could substitute for this? And remember that Wicca, you don't need anything to practice Wicca. Yes, Wicca generally tends to be a kind of maximalist practice. And, you know, if you've seen my videos, you know my altar is certainly maximalist. But that has built up over years and years of practice. And it continues to build every day of my life. So it's not like I went out and just, boom, bought myself all this stuff for this massive altar. It's been slowly building over years and years of practice and study. So let yourself have that natural progression and that natural build up to where your practice is going to be. Because part of being Wiccan is you're always evolving, you're always growing, you're always learning. So don't rush yourself to be in a place that you're not at yet. Because there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having that slow build. That's how life is. You know, you can't just snap your fingers and be perfect. there's no perfect. So yeah, let yourself slowly build your practice. When I first started as a little baby Wiccan, when I was 17, 18, I only had a small floor table. It was like this big. Actually, it's, if you've seen my videos, my altar, you know, is my big main bottom table, and then there's a smaller table on the back of my altar that I have my Bastet and Anubis statues on. That small table that's on the top of the big main table, that was originally my altar. So originally my altar was that small little table, and that was it. So like the growth that has occurred is unreal. So yeah, it's don't, you know, you start off small and it builds and builds. And like I've said in a lot of my other videos, a lot of the things on my altar I made. You know, they weren't things I bought. Or a lot of the things on my altar were gifts from teachers or gifts from other people. Like people who know me and know that I'm spiritual will give me things. Or just gifts from nature, gifts from spirit. Like I'm walking along and I see something I like that's fallen off of a tree, or you know, all those things. So yeah, those would be my biggest pieces of advice for people starting to learn about Wicca. Because it is overwhelming. I know from experience how overwhelming it is. Yeah, because that's partially why I started my channel, is because I know when I was starting out, I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I learn? What's happening? So yeah, that would be my biggest piece of advice. Thank you, Rebecca. Great question. Always a good question. We're about 30 minutes in. Remember, if you have a question, you can send it in. But yeah, going back to talking about gaming, I was thinking that maybe one evening a week we would game here on my channel. And I definitely think we should start with Hogwarts Legacy because it is so fun, and it also kind of fits our theme that we've created on my channel of just overall magic and whimsy. So that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking Tuesday nights. We'd stream for a few hours, just having fun. It would be a cozy stream, you know, bring your pajamas. Wear your pajamas, bring your cozy pillows and blankets. And just play some video games, you know? But I'm glad we named our little kitty cat. I never name things. Obviously, other than my own pets, but I have to have real inspiration. My sister usually names things, like all of our plants in our house. I'll be like, what's his name? Because she just knows. She can just look at a plant and she knows their name. Something shameful about me, though, is that I am not very good at taking care of plants. I'm very sorry about it. I wish I was better at taking care of plants. I'm trying to learn. I'm actually taking an herbs class. And my sister's teaching me some too, because she really has a green thumb. She does, and I do not. I think it's because I'm really anxious about killing them, and then that's why I end up killing them. It's because I'm too anxious about it. I'll be like, did I water you enough? Do I water you too much? Do you want water? Are you sure? I don't know how to tell. I'm glad it's not just me, Popsicle. It's so shameful, especially as like a spiritual worker. People are like, you know, like I've heard people say like, if you can't take care of a plant, that's like a sign that you can't take care of yourself. I'm like, stop reading me, okay? Leave me alone. I'm trying my best. I'm getting better. Also, I've just learned that I should buy robust plants, like succulents, cactuses, you know. Things that are hard to kill. And I give my plants Reiki, too. So, like, I try. I really try. The Reiki definitely helps. The Reiki helps. I've seen plants come back to life because of Reiki. But yeah. I'm not so good at taking care of plants. Like, what kind of healer can't take care of a plant? You're right. Plants are very forgiving. They're very sweet. They love me despite my problems. I am getting better, though. I have 2 plants in my room right now that are doing very well. So, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated on the plants. Just vibing a little bit to this lo-fi. I've gotten really into lo-fi recently. I know people use it a lot in like streams and things because you can use like no copyright lo-fi, which is what we're doing now. But I have gotten really into it just like in daily life. It's good background to help me focus on things. Okay, guys, we'll probably do another 10 to 20 minutes of chatting and office hours and such. And then we'll get into open study time, work time, whatever you want to use the time for. So if you have any questions, now's the time to send them in. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to mention. These are my thinking hands. I think that's it. We talked about gaming streams. We talked about the name for the kitty cat. I think that's all the stuff I wanted to bring up. Oh, and the event. We talked about the event. Ooh, Poppy. Excellent question, Poppy. What are some ways of connecting to your deities that can be done every day? Super great question. So there are a lot of things. Like, really, the list is endless. Because you can connect to your deities any way that feels special to you and that deity. So, the first thing that comes to mind is prayer. If prayer is something that resonates with you, then prayer in the morning, in the evening, or both is a great way to connect to deity. Say their names specifically, tell them anything you have to say, and then thank them and go about your day or go about your evening or whatever. It's a great, easy, quick way. First thing in the morning, sit down at your altar, say a little prayer to whoever or however many deities that you're working with. And then at the end of the day, do the same thing. It's a great way to just kind of check in. Outside of any like bigger rituals that you may do with that deity at different times of the moon cycle and things like that in the year. That's the biggest thing that pops up is prayer. But other little ways to connect with your deities, like I said, they can be anything, but like another example of how they can be anything is like for me, you know, I'm a dancer, and especially with this recent ecstatic dance retreat, it's kind of reignited my ecstatic dance practice and my movement practice. So I've kind of started doing morning movement, evening movement, and dedicating that to my guides and to my deities, and especially to the deities that appreciate dance and movement. They all really do, but I really feel that certain deities really come through when I'm doing that dance practice, that movement practice, because they like it so much. So yeah, that's like another way, like think about the things that you enjoy in your life. Maybe you play an instrument, or you sing, or you dance, or you draw, or anything like that. Then you can dedicate those things to your deities while you do them. Yeah, and you really just like get unique with it and think about your life and what is involved in your daily life. And then also little things like certain jewelry that represents that deity. Wear it every day, or wear it on days when you really want that deity to be with you. You know, like I have this Mary Magdalene necklace. I wear it almost every day, almost every single day. And if I'm not wearing this one, I'm wearing, I have this like 3-tiered, like it's 3 individual necklaces, but they kind of go together, and they're all Kemetic based. So one of the necklaces is connected to Anubis, another of the necklaces is connected to Horus and Ra. So jewelry that connects you to that being is also very helpful. It's a way to kind of honor them and also keep them with you. But yeah, those are the things that immediately come to mind for how you can connect to deities in your daily life. Great question, Poppy. Tracy, do you work with crystals? I do. I do work with crystals. Not a crazy large amount. Oh, I'm glad, Poppy. I'm glad it was helpful. Thank you. Excellent question. Really good. But not a huge amount. I work with crystals mostly in a very basic way, just in like a, I'm going to carry this with me kind of way. Or like, you know, I like to wear them, of course. It's always good to wear them when I need certain energies to be with me. But beyond that, I don't work intensely with crystals. I'll use crystals sometimes in my healings. I'll put crystals on my client, on their different chakras. Like I said, I carry crystals with me a lot. I wear crystals, but beyond that, I'm not super into crystals. I have done crystal grids before in the past, a few here and there, but it's definitely not my specialty. And I do know, like I said, like the basics about crystals. I know all about like crystal shape and all the ethics of buying crystals and taking care of crystals, making sure that your crystals are well cared for, and you know which crystals can't go in water and which crystals can't do this and can't do that and shouldn't be in the sun and all those things. But yeah, crystals aren't a huge part of my practice, but they definitely strongly support my practice. I've seen the power of crystals. I've experienced the power of crystals, so I do enjoy them and I do use them. But I'm not, you know, I'll see people who like their whole practice is crystals, or their practice is really hinging upon crystals, and they know a lot about crystals. Like they can immediately identify a stone and tell you all of its properties. And I can usually identify a stone just because I've seen almost all of them over the years, shopping in stores and using a lot of them, a lot of my favorite ones. I can usually immediately identify a stone, but I can't necessarily immediately be like, oh, that has this property and this property and this property. So yeah, I use crystals, but I'm not an expert. I would definitely not say like crystals are the big thing. For me, my practice, and, you know, you guys know this from my channel, but for me, crystals are, well, my practice is, you know, deity worship, energy work, energy healing, shadow work and light work, and mixing the two, communicating with beings in other realms, you know, the Akashic records, shamanic journeying, all those things are really my practice, and not mainstream as a lot of other people's. And not to say that there's anything wrong with mainstream. I wish, like tarot has never really resonated with me the way that it does for so many other people. For a long time I was like, I've got to get into tarot. Everybody's into tarot and I'm not into tarot. I've got to get into tarot. But it just doesn't resonate with me. I have some tarot decks and I do whip them out sometimes and do a little reading for myself. It's just not my favorite thing. But yeah, crystals I do like, though. Crystals I do love. They're really supportive and enjoyable. But I'm not an expert. So we'll do our last little bit of questions for the next few minutes. Yeah, the medicine wheel. Yeah, that's great. That's a really fun thing to study. Yeah, shamanic work is really fun. Really, really expansive. And really safe. And that's one of my favorite things about it. Like, especially when I'm teaching other people about shamanic work. It's really nice how cared for and held you are throughout the shamanic work. It's not like a lot of other spiritual practices where you have to kind of be a little bit more protective of yourself and your energies. And the more advanced shamanic work, you definitely do have to protect yourself and all that, but I'm thinking mostly about like the more beginner shamanic work where you're journeying to the lower world. All of that is so safe and beautiful. It's just so lovely. It's so comforting. So we'll do our, we're about 43 minutes in. So we'll do probably the next 5-10 minutes of questions if anybody has any more questions that they want to send in the chat. And then after that, we'll take a little break and then we'll come back and we'll get into open study work time. So any questions that you may have about anything, feel free to pop them in the chat. And if you just arrived, we decided our little cat's name is Hexa. So our little pet stream cat, her name is Hexa. Do you know much about the deity Ares? No, I do not. No, I do not. Hi, welcome, Court Sing. We're happy to have you here. Welcome. So happy you found us. Yeah, these study hall streams are new for us too, so you're joining at the perfect time. It's only our second one. But yeah, unfortunately I don't know much about that deity. I have heard of them. But yeah, I'm gonna be making back, now that I'm back from my trip, I'm gonna be back on my deity spotlights. So yeah, I'll put that deity on the list for sure. It might already be, actually. There's a zillion deities on the list. Because I love learning about deities. I was just trying to focus on getting done with all the deities that I already know a lot about. And then I was going to start working through the list of, okay, what's this one, this one, this one. I have done a spotlight on Hecate. Yes, that's on my channel. If you go to my channel and type in Hecate, it pops right up. We have done one. Yeah, I was thinking about doing another Depnon vlog soon, because that was really fun. Oh, Court Sing, I love this question. Yes, you just poked my hyperfixation. How's your demonology studies going? They're going really good. They're going really well. Yeah, I'm just like so excited you brought this up. I am obsessed with demonology at the moment. I'm obsessed with anything within the shadow, honestly. Especially right now. I always have been, but right now. But my demonology studies are going pretty well. I've been reading a few books I will look at what they're called later, and I will comment them down below. But I've been reading a few books. I'm also taking this online course, and I'm pretty skeptical about online courses, but I vetted it, and it seemed pretty legit. But I'm doing this online course also on demonology. It's called Multi-Faith Demonology. So basically it's a course that looks at demonology not from just like a Christian lens, but from a lens of every religion, and a lot of different cultures. But yeah, the demonology studies are going really well. I feel almost ready to make my first video on demonology. Still soaking up some more knowledge before I really throw myself out there and start teaching others about demonology. But I just find it so fascinating. I really find it fascinating. Because I've also been, I've spent a long time, years, communicating with deities and other energy beings like spirit guides and things like that. And I've always been interested in, spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I've been getting more into that as well as demonology, kind of at the same time. I've been getting into like spirit communication. Yeah, and it's all just really cool. Because also I've been, if you've seen my YouTube shorts here, or if you follow me on TikTok, I've been, and I might have also talked about this in my last chatty video where I cleaned my altar. I've been working at a hospice, volunteering at a hospice, giving Reiki to hospice patients. And working with the dying is something that I've been feeling called to do for a few years now, but I didn't feel emotionally ready to do so. And only recently started feeling ready to do that. And it's been amazing, like so spiritually expansive, working with people who are dying. And so I feel like the whole spirit communication thing has kind of been wrapped up in that death work practice that I'm stepping into. So they've all been kind of intertwined and mixed together, and it's been really fun. Oh, you're so right, Court, saying if we hear demons, we think of spooks. It's so true. We just think of like The Conjuring and, like all those scary movies, Paranormal Activity and all that. And I kind of love The Conjuring. Not the most recent movie that came out. I felt like that was horrible. But the original 2 Conjuring movies I think are so good, and I love Vera Farmiga. But yeah, people do really have a lot of misconceptions about like demons and spirits and all that, because they do just see media and they're like, ah! And also people forget that like a lot of those stories are lies. Just like straight up lies. Or like there was a true thing and then it got twisted into a scarier thing because the scarier thing was more interesting. Because even like, we've unlocked a whole hyperfixation of mine, but even like Ed and Lorraine Warren, The Conjuring, the couple from The Conjuring, it's based off of a real thing, with the Annabelle doll and all that. I have recently learned they were not legit. Ed and Lorraine Warren. Nobody had told me. Nobody had told me that. Yeah, I love The Conjuring. So good movies. Such good movies. Really spooky and terrifying. Like nightmares. I love it. But yeah, nobody told me that Vera Farmiga, that the depiction of that Vera Farmiga and all of them do is a very fun version of the events. Because in reality, Ed and Lorraine Warren were basically just doing what a lot of Christian ministers and preachers and all that were doing throughout those eras, which is, and continue to do today, which is like being very showman-y. Like Ed would walk in, like I read a story the other day that Ed would walk into a space that was alleged to have spirits within it or demons within it, and he would fake a heart attack and then be like, oh my god, there's these demons here, they're so powerful, we must have an exorcism. Like, ugh. But yeah, so people have a lot of misconceptions about demons, but I've really been enjoying getting to know all this information about deities. I know, Poppy, I was so disappointed. I was so genuinely disappointed. Like, so disappointed. It is funny though. It is funny. Like, you just walk into a room and just be like, the demons! Ah! The demons! But the movies are really good, and I'm gonna continue to enjoy the movies. And anyone who's in the room with me is gonna have to deal with my autistic rant about the truth behind the movies. We're gonna have to pause, and I'll give a little TED talk, and then we'll resume the movie and we'll enjoy the movie. Okay, guys, so just a couple more minutes of questions, and then we're gonna get into open study. I would like to take a moment, though, to just say to everybody that I really appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out in our first stream and in this one. It's been really fun getting into live streaming. It's been something that I've been wanting to do for literally like a year, maybe even more. It's just like consistently live stream. And I've always kind of held myself back from it because I find it very daunting. You know, I like making videos. I like that I can watch it back, cut things I don't like, you know, cut out my ums and my pauses and my, you know, I'm such a perfectionist in that way. And so I always held myself back from doing it. So I just wanted to send some gratitude your way to everybody. So thank you for coming in. And I hope that as we grow this consistent live streaming, we'll grow our community, and it'll be a really great resource for everybody to support each other and have my support and just be able to chat and form connections and have a space to do spiritual study and ask spiritual questions and just hang out. Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate every single one of you seedlings. So last call for questions. Last call. Yes, I enjoyed the chat too. Thanks, Tracy. And I forgot to bring a tea. Like, who even am I? I don't have a tea right now. Silly, silly me. I always have a tea. I drink like 6 cups of tea a day. At least when I'm home. A tea fanatic. Another stereotypical witchy thing about me. Hi, welcome! Better late than never. We're happy to have you here. Yes, we're gonna keep doing these. I'm trying to pick a specific day and time that we always do this, so that we can have some consistency. So that you guys always know, okay, the stream is always at this time. Just have to pick a day and a time. Just gotta bite the bullet and pick a time. I'm knocking everything down. What are my favorite teas? Oh God. Well, depends on the time of day. I love, in the morning, I love a black tea. Specifically Irish breakfast or Scottish breakfast tea. Scottish breakfast is my all-time favorite. Irish breakfast is my second favorite. English breakfast is like, if that's all they have, I'll drink it. Because that's usually all people have, like restaurants and things. They don't have anything other than English breakfast. But I love a black tea in the morning. I usually have it with a little bit of lemon. And then throughout the day, really depends what's going on. I might have like a green tea, especially if I still have stuff going on and I need a little bit of caffeine. Even though I feel like caffeine doesn't affect me. I feel like I'll drink a bunch of caffeine and then I'm yawning. But yeah, so that's usually what I do in the morning. And then, yeah, I'll have a green tea. Sometimes in the morning I have a green tea instead of a black tea if I'm just feeling a different vibe. Black tea is usually like if I have a whole day of like work that I need to get done, I'll have a black tea that kind of mentally is like, okay, I've got work to do. And green tea is more of like, I'm doing stuff, but I'm chilling. Yeah, I have like a whole like autistic set of rules with the types of tea, I guess I'm realizing. Yeah, I love a peppermint tea. What else do I love? Yeah, oh, Tracy, yeah, you're speaking my language. Gotta be strong enough to stand your spoon up in. Yeah. Yeah, and I love a strong tea. Like, I've seen people, like, put the tea bag in and then immediately kind of take it out or take it out after a minute. I'm like, nah, leave that baby in there. Steep that shit. But yeah, so that's kind of my vibe. Yeah, I love a peppermint tea. I love, what else do I love? I know, I've heard that they're made by a cult, but I do love, like, sleepy time tea in the evening. I do love it. Hopefully I'm not supporting something that's super ethically bad, but I have heard that it's, like, made by a cult. I don't know any of the details beyond that, or if that's just a rumor or not, but yeah, I have heard that. But I do love their teas. I do love their teas. What else do I like? Oh, I love a chai. I love a chai tea. A little bit of oat milk. Love that. That's good. I tried a London fog for the first time the other day. I had never had one. I guess it was a couple weeks ago. I have no concept of time. I tried a London fog, which is Earl Grey tea with milk, I believe. So I had it with oat milk. And yeah, it was pretty good. I was like, wow, this is good. This is interesting. I didn't know that I liked that sort of thing. But yeah, I've had it a few times since then, and I was like, ooh. Chai every morning. Oh yeah, love a chai. You feel weird energy from the Trader Joe's tea. Yeah, I'm not much of a Trader Joe's person. I mostly shop at, like, the farmer's market and Whole Foods or Sprouts. But yeah, I do get that sometimes with certain brands of tea. It just doesn't feel quite as, I don't know, clean or whatever as it could be. Yeah, my sister and I also, in our kitchen, we have a big wall of herbs, just like shelves of herbs. And we make loose leaf teas a lot from that. So we'll just, like, you know, grab one of our tea steepers and just put different herbs in it. So we do a lot of things like that too, especially my sister, because she's really into herbal medicine and supplements and things. So if I'm like, I have a headache or I have heartburn or my stomach hurts, my sister will be like, I'll make you a tea. And then she comes in with, like, all these herbs and she makes a nice tea. So yeah, she would have a really interesting answer to her favorite kinds of tea because she knows all of the herbs. Do we have tea pigs in the USA? I've never heard of that. Tea pigs. I don't know. Maybe we don't. I'm looking it up. Oh, we do. We do. We do have tea pigs. I recognize the marketing. I recognize the packaging. So we do have tea pigs. I have had that. I feel like I've enjoyed some of these teas. Yeah, I definitely, if I can avoid it, I avoid like a pre-bagged tea. It's always, like, I always think it's better to do, like, a loose leaf situation, but sometimes that's just not possible. Oh, yeah, the farmer's market is the best. I'm really happy because I missed the last two farmer's markets, you know, because I was out of town. So this Sunday, farmer's market. Getting back on my farmer's market shit. Mugwort tea. Ooh, I love mugwort. I love mugwort so much. I agree with you. I love that we started a whole little tea chat just because I said that I didn't have a tea with me. Silly, silly. Oh, I do love how spiritual tea is. It's just such a nice, what's the word? It's like a nice little, part of your whole spiritual thing that you got going on. Like, a lot of the time, when I'm doing ritual, I'll make a tea that goes with the ritual. Yeah, I love drinking tea as part of ritual or spell work. We were saying the same thing at the same time, Kay. Yes. Oh, I also have this loose leaf tea that I got at a witchy event one time. It's called Waning Moon tea. So I drink it when I'm usually in the evening when I'm doing any kind of spiritual practice at my altar, when I'm in the phase of the moon that's when the moon's waning. But yeah, I love that too. I'll have to look at what's in that. Can't remember. But yeah, that's a good one. I'll have to look at the brand too, because that's like a small brand that just had a booth at an event. It's not like in grocery stores or anything. But yeah, if you can find a person at your farmer's market that sells herbs, yes, yes, that is good. Or if you're like a honey person. I'm not much of a honey person, but sometimes, occasionally, you get really good honey at the farmer's market. Okay, everybody. So we're a little over an hour into the stream. So I think we're gonna take a 5-minute break. I'm gonna make a tea. And make sure I have everything I need to start working on what I'm gonna be working on for open work time. Oh, I'm so glad, Janine. Oh, that's my goal, is just to give people good, like, good working vibes, good study vibes, you know. Let's put it on in the background. I'm so glad. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. I was like, if I had this, that'd be so nice. To just have that, like, we're all doing the same thing kind of vibe. But yeah, so we'll take a 5-minute break. I'm gonna make a tea, make sure I have everything I need to work on editing the video I'm gonna be editing. And then I'll come back and we'll get into open work time. So, ready, break. Bedtime in the UK. Thanks for coming in, Tracy. We'll see you next time. Have a nice night. But everybody else, I will see you in 5 minutes. I have a tea? I made a tea. The tea I made is echinacea and what else did I put in? Tulsi. And it's in my Costa Rica mug. Pura vida. So I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to get editing. Except for the tea is very hot. Hobbit party invites. Please explain. Please say more words. Please say more words. Bug boy buddy. Excellent name. I want to know what that means. Are you having a Hobbit party? Is that what that means? A Hobbit themed party? I'm on the edge of my seat. Oh my god. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. I'm so jealous. Oh my god, hello. From Costa Rica. Hell yeah. I just got back from Costa Rica. Thank you for coming in. But that sounds amazing, Bug Boy Buddy. That sounds amazing. I wish I had enough Lord of the Rings minded friends to throw a Hobbit party. Maybe someday. Maybe that's a life goal that I've just set just now. Wow. Enjoy working on your invites. Oh, so everybody can just work freely on whatever it is that they've got going on. I'm going to be working on editing the next video that's going to be going up on my channel, which is a vlog from my retreat that I was on in Costa Rica. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And I invite you all to work on whatever it is you've got going on. Schoolwork, crafting, studying for something, working from home, anything. Reading a book, anything you like. So I'm going to turn the mic off and stop paying attention and just try to work on this video. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves in the chat, you know, ask each other questions or talk. And when I take a break from editing, I'll catch up on any chat that I missed. Okay, yeah. Let's get to work. Oh, and feel free to, you know, like mute the stream if you want to play your own music. And just leave the video up. Or you can enjoy the lo-fi that I'm streaming. So yeah, enjoy the open work time. I hope it's very productive for you all. So I swear I'm gonna get to work. I just had to respond really quick to Dario. I hope I'm saying that right. But I absolutely enjoyed Costa Rica. It was an amazing country. I said this to the customs lady when they randomly selected me to check my carry-on luggage. She was like, how was your trip? I was like, beautiful country, beautiful people. That's how I would describe it. Everyone was so happy and friendly and nice. Just really amazing energy, and the country itself is gorgeous. So I definitely want to go back. But I just wanted to say really quick that I did love it. It was amazing. Beautiful country. And thank you so much for the kind words. I love to hear that I was able to help you with your journey with Hecate, so that's amazing. And Depnon on the beach in Costa Rica, that's a dream. I did go to the beach one of the days I was in Costa Rica. We did a little fire ceremony, and it was beautiful. So I can only imagine how amazing doing Depnon at the beach is. But yeah, that's amazing. I'll get to work now. Very sorry. for something on my computer to finish. So I thought I'd reply to some chat. Janine, we are your newest co-workers. I am very happy to have some co-workers for the first time in my life. Wow. I've worked from home my whole young adult life. But now I have co-workers. Yay. But that's nice, though, that at least you have your cousin can invite some people, so you have lots of hobbits at your hobbit party. I genuinely want to do that. That's such a good idea. That sounds so fun. Like when the new, when Rings of Power came out. When Rings of Power came out, oh my god. My sister and I were spending so much time talking about, which type of Lord of the Rings, like, creature we are. She's definitely an elf. I am definitely a Harfoot or a hobbit. That's just, it's my vibe. But yeah, Lord of the Rings is the best. I just finished listening to the audiobook of The Hobbit, so I'm on the same page as you. Okay, my computer's done, so I'll get back to work. Okay, everybody. So I'm gonna be signing off for today. Thank you, everybody who showed up and hung out and asked questions and did whatever you were doing while I was working. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying these. I'm really enjoying these too. it's nice that I get to get some work done while we're all hanging out together, so that's really cool. And I love getting to talk to you all a lot more, getting to talk to the seedlings. It's very fun. So thank you everybody who joined. I'm going to sign off for today. I'll be announcing within the next couple days our permanent schedule. So like I said, we're going to have at least one evening stream a week and at least one daytime stream a week. The evening stream will be playing games, and the daytime stream we will be doing this, having office hours and then open study work time. So yeah. And remember, I'm teaching an ecstatic dance event on March 13th. Hiccup! On March 13th in the evening here in Los Angeles. So check that out on my website if you live in the LA area, priestessdandelion.com, but it's also in the Dropbox. And I'm going to be opening that up to virtual. So you can join from long distance also and dance in your home. So I'm going to be opening that up. So keep an eye out for that on the community tab. Remember, you can hit the join button to become a member of my channel and get access to members only perks like early access to my videos and getting to vote in polls that decide what video I make next. So if you want a little bit more control over what happens on my channel and you want to be more involved with my channel and you want to help support me and help me keep making content here on YouTube, then hit that join button to become a member. Super fun community that we have going here, members and non-members. So thank you for being a seedling. I'm really happy that we've started this live streaming thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. But thank you everybody for joining. I'm going to get going and I will announce our permanent schedule very soon. So keep an eye on my Instagram and on the community tab here on my YouTube channel for that announcement. But thank you everyone, and I will see you next time.